Okay, let's see if we can get down. No, we can't. Wheeling, she's in shot there, the white shirt, the long hair, just waiting to talk to McLeod. Lucky Henry Answer on the Astra Honda. He is on P2. Who else have we really got to look out for? The championship leader is Andy Mohammed Fadli. This is a really competitive championship, and the equaliser rule, which we'll talk about after the interviews, is very important for that. But before we talk about the equaliser rule, let's go down to Wheeling. She is on the pit lane talking to the top three.
All right, thank you, Stephen. That's down here on the grid for the 250cc class, starting with Muglada in pole. Muglada, the conditions are very different from what we had in round one, but it looks like you are having a very good pace this weekend, but all the riders are also up there in time. So how are you looking forward to the first race?
Yeah, today I'm so happy and pole position, and today I confident myself and my bike, and I will do my best for me and my team. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Looks like Mulada is full weight confident starting from pole. Alongside her is Lucky Hendrian Shah, the rider who won race one back in round one. So Lucky, looks like you are very strong here at Sepang International Circuit. How are you going to use that experience to help you in the race today?
Yeah, maybe this race maybe very tough because many riders also already passed this round, and I just try to follow the rhythm, and we will see what happens later.
All right, thank you so much, Lucky. Good luck for race one. And starting alongside both riders is the rider who had double win in the previous round at Zhuhai International Circuit. So, Topan, how are you using that momentum from your double win in China to help you here in Sepang this weekend against the top riders? Because five of the riders already have the first equalizer with a reduced RPM. You are still not penalized yet. So how are you looking forward to race one?
Yes, I just focus myself. I focus forget the double winner again because only me, team preparator, no support at FAM. I just want to give to Indonesia and my family, my sponsor, for happy I can get the number one.
All right, thank you so much, Tofan. Good luck for race one. And that's it from me. From the grid, back to Steve and Des in the studio.
Great job as usual, Wheeling. Yes, as we are having a look at the main grandstand, you mentioned this, it's a fine venue, this, built in 1999. There's a lot of renovation work going on at the moment at Sepang. There's a number of big events looming, so the grandstand is closed. So if you are going to come down and there are seats available, don't go for the grandstand, and don't be fooled by the fact that there's no fans in there, because none are allowed in. But it's a fabulous circuit. It needs a bit of a facelift, but not a lot wrong with the track, Steve.
No, absolutely. We did touch on it before. 30 years old, the circuit now, so the grandstand renovation hasn't come at a great time for us, but for the future, it's needed. But I'll tell you what, talking about the future, keep an eye on this man, number 108, Andy Fadli. He's definitely going to be in with a charge. He's got a lot of things on his mind as well, with the equaliser rule, which we'll talk about during the race. If he has a good result here, he could get another 500 RPM taken off of his rev limit. So that will really hinder him towards the last couple of races this year.
We'll explain a little bit about that. Irfan Ardiansa, P6. We've just been along the second row of the grid. Andy Mohammed Fadli, who's the championship leader at the moment, 5 points clear of Irfan Ardiansa. Alongside him was Ray Ratukore, 5th fastest in, and then Irfan Ardiansa. Indonesians do pretty well in this class of racing, this AP 250. They own 5 of the first 6 places on the grid.
Yeah, they certainly do. They're the type of rider that, that do well. I know the Malaysians are trying to strike back, though. There's a few new whispers of teams coming in. We'll talk more about that later, too.
On row 3, Pia Watt is the second of the ties, the AP Honda Racing team. McLeod, of course, is the woman who's on pole. I've really enjoyed the performance this season of Arwin Sanjaya. Third in the championship standings, 4 podium finishes, 1 win at Suzuka, a second in Zhuhai and Buriram, and a third place in race number 2 when they were first here in Sepang. He is on P8, and alongside him is Ayoshi from the first of the Kawasaki's, who are, you'd expect maybe the Kawasaki's to fare maybe just a little bit better on these long straights.
You'd think so. Akiyoshi, of course, what a brilliant rider he is. He's had some brilliant results this year so far, but he's also had too many DNFs. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in this one. He needs to try and back up his teammate, Andy Fadley.
We're just running around. This is Mohammed Fairozi from the Yamaha Racing Indonesia team. He is on P10. Average lap times 136 kilometers per hour, 225.7. Next to him is Muzakir Mohammed, who is the first of the Malaysians, which you alluded to earlier. We're going to talk about 1 or 2 new teams coming into Asia Road Racing AP 250 next season. In fact, probably making their debut here. The Idemitsu Bunsu Honda Racing team of Shafuddin Azman, who's in P20. He will be making his debut. Najul Izzat is the second of the Malaysians. So the 1XOX team are making their move on the Yamahas, the R25s.
Yeah, good machine, and also a really good team to be involved with the X10X team. You know, they put so much into this Asian Championship across all classes.
We've got a little bit of time, so let's have another look at Tachikon, who I remember in Buriram, I think it was, got himself into some really good positions, Tachikon. Looking down, yeah, he's had 3 podiums. He first and a second in Buriram and a third in a race in Adelaide. 2 DNFs since then, though, for Tachikon. So the grid about to be cleared. We've got one rider. Where's that? That's in the middle of the 4th row of the grid. So Muzakir Mohammed a little bit quick off the line. Right, let's talk you through the 30 who are going to be on the grid. On pole, bike number 44, always worth watching, whether she's in the lead or chasing or being competitive, Muklada Sarapwech, alongside Lucky Hendriansa and Rafi Topan Susito. 2 wins in a row for bike 911. Andy Mohammed Fadli, the championship leader on the 2nd row of the grid, alongside Ray Ratukore and Irfan Ardiansa. 5 Indonesians in the first 6. On the 3rd row of the grid, Pia Watt alongside Arwin Sanjay, who I really like the look of. Aoki Ayoshi with 3 podiums to his name in row 3. Fairozi in P10 alongside the 2 Malaysians, Muzakir Mohammed for the 1XOX team and Najul Izzat, so the teammates 11 and 12 together, so they're competing with each other for the team. Onto the 5th row of the grid, it's the ties of Tachikon and Sutipat alongside Rajiv Setu from Indonesia, the Idemitsu Honda Racing team in P15. He'd like to pick up points as he has throughout the season. Row 6, Mohammed Idil Fitri, Anji Setiawan and Shahrul Shazwas from Malaysia. 30 bikers will be starting. Row 7, Cal Vietnam, who's just trying to pick up points here and there alongside Sharafuddin on the Bunsu Honda Racing team. This is their debut. We'll have a feature on them a little bit later on in the show. Sawapal from Yamaha Tyre Racing on P21. The second of the Indian riders, Senthil, is in P22 alongside Liu Junmei. She is alongside Idlan Hakimi from the Idemitsu Bunsu Honda Racing team. So they are the 24. 6 more riders to work you through. Rows 9 and 10 will be Malaysia, Thailand, Japan. Harith Hazik from the SIC Junior Racing team. So this is his home track for Harith Hazik. He'll be looking for some good experience. Kevin Johnson, who has improved right the way throughout, picking up valuable experience. The diminutive Mio Nakahara on row 9 from Japan. And then Stuart Johnson, the Johnson brothers in a battle of their own. And Nang Tse in row 15. Nang Tse from Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei Chan Qingying on the ARRC 31 Racing team on the Yamaha is on P30. Crowds here, it is a cracking venue to come and watch. The haze, I'm delighted to say, if you're in the locality, is much, much less bad than it has been throughout the last 2 weeks. As you can see, it's pretty clear. This is the long lens. That's about a 1 kilometre straight that we're seeing there. So, Steve Martin, the weather conditions are, the haze is actually quite nice, because although it's warm out there, it's not direct sunlight, so not as steamy hot as it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. It can get very humid and hot here at Sepang. These riders, all from the region, thereabouts, they know what that's like. They can deal with it. They live in it every day. But I tell you what, this is going to be one good race. There's the championship leader, Andy Fadley, on the KYT Kawasaki team.
We've got, realistically, if you're within about 60 points, you've got a chance of a top 3 place in the season. And so we've got 8 racers who are in or around that area. I think we've got 4 genuine championship contenders. Muklada is one of them, but she can't afford any more DNFs. She can't afford any more catastrophes. 4 DNFs for Muklada this season, as well as 4 podium finishes. She is on pole position here. She is on the right of the front row of the grid. We are about to get underway, the first of this 8-lap race. It's race number 1 of the weekend. AP 250cc's. It's a long hole. They're waiting. There's somebody right at the back there who is still not in. Rapid Topam. Got to be patient, and a long hold not good for the racers, Steve Martin.
Definitely not. They won't like being held up here. That rider's back on track. Now you can just see the green flag at the back being waved.
So a nervy start. Let's see if Muklada is able to keep her nerve. Once the red lights go on and then off, we will be underway in the first of 6 laps. We are underway. Muklada gets off to a flying start. Andy Mohammed Fadley also comes through from the second row of the grid. And Muklada, as they come into the long straight, she's got Andy Mohammed Fadley right behind her. But Muklada, no mistakes from her. That's a good start, although it's Andy Mohammed Fadley who will lead going into corner number 1.
Yeah, good start there by Andy Mohammed Fadley. Just got on the brakes nice and late there. Very clean. Muklada, boy, she was so good off the start. She's lightning reflexes. Brilliant start. She's dropped back a little bit. Lucky Rd6 in second now, with Rafid Topan, 2-time winner last time out, sitting in 4th position there. And I tell you, looking at Rafid Topan, he's come from nowhere. He's done nothing this year, and then bang, 2 wins last time out.
That's where the equaliser comes into play. Explain how this equaliser works, Steve Martin.
Okay, well, what happens is if you are 50 points in front of the person in 5th place, you get 500 RPM taken away from you. There's 5 riders in the race at the moment that have that. Andy Mohammed Fadley, Akiyoshi, Muklada, Irfan Aransaya and Awan Sanjaya all have 500 RPM taken off them. The problem though is the man in front, number 180, when he gets to 50 points in front, he could get another 500 points, 500 RPM taking it off, making it a grand total of 1,000 RPM less than what the bike started the year with, and that will make a big difference. So he has to decide right now what he's going to do.
Muklada Sarapets tucked into second place at the moment. Andy Mohammed Fadley is leading the way. Indeed, tactics come into play. Do I actually want to win here is almost the question going through Andy Mohammed Fadley's, because Andy Mohammed Fadley's mind, because there's 2-3 more races to go.
That's right, there is. And I think that Astra Honda have sort of played it pretty smart. Normally, if you think back to the racing last year, well, we've got a bit of a, if you can call that a lull in the racing, I don't think so, but at the start of last year, Astra Honda were winning every race, sometimes 3 in a row, you know, first, second and third, a podium lockout. But this year they've started off very quietly. But if you have a look now, the Astra Honda boys are right up there every race now.
Muklada Sarapwet, she takes the lead as she puts the left foot down into this hairpin bend. Andy Mohammed Fadley takes a wider line, goes on the inside a bit tighter, but it'll be Muklada who is in second place. Oh, a bit of dirt being eaten there by Irfan Ardiansa, but it is Muklada who leads from Andy Mohammed Fadley, and third place is Lucky Hendriansa. Arwin Sanjaya quietly has maintained himself in 4th place. Ray Ratakore, Ferozi, Rapid Topan in P7 ahead of Peewat and Irfan Ardiansa.
Yeah, you could see the difference there. Lucky Hendriansa, he doesn't have that 500 RPM rev limit applied to his machine at this point, and he just blasted past down the straight there. So that's where the differences can play. But of course, if you have been holding back throughout the year. You've got to catch the points up, and that's what he needs to do now.
This is the hilly part of the course. As you can see, it's a little bit undulating. They come up and hill, but it's how you cope with the downward slopes, particularly if you're on a right-hand corner there. Just being able to hold the camber. They're still going up a hill, but there's a classic example. You're coming down the hill, and it just plays mayhem with your normal thinking on where your line should be, Steve.
Absolutely, you really do have to know your way around this circuit. And McLarda dives up the inside. What a great move by her. If there is somebody that knows this circuit, every bump, it is her. She was so fast at round one. Things didn't go her way. I'm pretty sure it was a mechanical DNF, maybe 2 that she had there. But one thing is for sure, when she stays on the bike and she focuses, she is super fast around this circuit.
Staying on the bike, that's been a problem. That's as McLarda again, the left foot goes down. She drags with her Lucky Hendriancha. Andy Mohamed Fadli goes up. He takes the inside lane, and this is a competitive racing. Going around the outside is Ray Ratukore, who's got the ability and real pace as the young Indonesian, but McLarda, left knee is low to the ground. She is still holding on in P1 here. You do wonder whether she's gone out a little bit quickly, but she has, for once in this AP 250 class, Steve Martin, been able to drag it into a bit of a string. Oh, Andy Mohamed Fadli completely misjudges that. Goes out, loses 5, 6, 7 places. Has a look at his back wheel.
Did he, or did he do it deliberately so he doesn't get the extra 500 RPM? Oh, we've got a rider down there.
That is Setu Rajiv, the young Indian. And he looks to be, as always, he's pretty hurt at the moment.
Yeah.
Glad to see there was some movement of the hand. But when the riders lie motionless like that, you do wonder. We'll get you up to date with Setu Rajiv as they come through at the end of lap 2. Lucky Hendriansa leads the way, so Lucky is there ahead of Arwin Sanjaya in P2, and in P3 it is McLarda Sarupech wrapping Topan in P6. I'm interested to see where Andy Mohamed Fadli is. He's come through in P12. So was it tactical? Was it deliberate, or did he misjudge?
Yeah, probably misjudgment. You wouldn't want to give that many points away. That's quite a bag full of points he's giving away, but there is no right or wrong. It's hard to know what to do if you're in his situation, but either way, if it finishes like this, he won't get the extra 500 RPM put onto his bike. So either way, not a bad thing for him at the moment, although I'm sure that he would have loved to have been winning the race. Arwin Sanjaya has his go at the front now.
Astor Honda Racing P1, P2, P3, that's looking good for them. Maybe 1 or 2 team orders coming into place. Let's spread out across the track. Let's make sure nobody can get past us. Was there
bit of a moment there for the lady out front, McLarda.
There's always a moment for McLarda.
That's why we love watching her race.
She is, though, still in the lead. Her RPM penalty or handicap does not seem to be working against her as she hunkers down, low knee to the ground. Again, going up, it's the slopes, the hilliness of here. In Zhuhai, it was relatively flat. Here, it's probably a 30 or 40 meter undulation several times on this track.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's set over a great expanse of ground. It's a wide, open flowing track. The track is 14 to 15 meters wide at some points, so you really can carry more speed through the middle of the corner. And if that is one thing that McLarda is good at, as she has a look over her shoulder, is just her line, picking the right line. She's just so good at it. Oh, she tagged the back wheel there. Did you see that? She hit the back wheel of the rider in front of her. You can't get away with that.
Irfan Ardiancha it was, and Irfan gives her a wide berth on that occasion. This is where Andy Mohamed Fadli made his mistake before. Several of the riders beginning to look back behind them just to see how they are, but there's a bit of a procession, and the front 8 or so, although the front 7 have got themselves fairly clear. 16 leads the way, Irfan Ardiancha, but he's wary of McLarda. McLarda takes the tighter line on the inside. Bike 44, what will she get coming out to the corner? Little slingshot down, but it's Irfan Ardiancha who will lead after 3 laps with Lucky Hendriancha either side of McLarda Sarupech. This is building up into a nice race and enough instant to keep everybody interested and everybody on their toes.
I want to know what Rafid Topan had for breakfast in China, because whatever it is, he's just taken the lead of this race. He's won 2 there, now he leads here. He's completely turned his championship around.
Well, he certainly has, but again, is he going to think about maybe just zipping out of one corner because he hadn't had the 50 RPM.
Well, he hasn't, but he's way off in the championship because seriously, up until that point, he'd done absolutely nothing, just scored a handful of points. For him, it's not the championship anymore. For him, it's just doing what he can for his family and his country.
67 points off the overall championship leader, but you never know, a couple of back-to-back wins and you come right back in it. That time looking over the shoulder was Irfan Ardiansha. What's this looking over the shoulder all about, Steve?
Well, I don't know why they do it, because they know there's 30 motorcycles right behind them. I think it's just like positioning, see who is there, who isn't there. Each of the riders at the moment have got one or two guys that they're looking for. And it's good to see Mohamed Ferozi took out there as well on the Yamaha. Good to see the Yamaha making a showing towards the front, something we haven't seen for a while.
Bike 911 though, keep an eye on him, Rafid Topan. At the moment he'll just try and nip through into second place. Being dragged in there is Owen Sanjay. Pirwat's made a move as well as they go up the hill and round the corner into turn 11. Then they'll take the sharp left hand into turn 12 as they just pull round. Rafid Topan, easy to see the lime green helmet. Is that lime green? Not quite, but it's bright and easy to pick out on bike 911. There's the left-hander round turn 12 into turn 13, and then they'll begin the double straight to home. McLaren still on the corner. Plenty of respect there. The riders, Steve Martin, using the full expanse of the track.
Well, we've still got 5 laps to go, so a little bit of respect, but I'll tell you what, on the last lap, things are going to be a lot different. There you go, there's virtually the whole field still together with 5 laps to go. This is certainly going to go down to the wire. I don't know who's going to win this one, but it could be someone in 15th position at the moment.
Pirwat moves himself into P3. Andy Mahanda Fadley nearly loses his back end there. Just manages to catch it, but bike 108, the overall championship leader, will cross the line in P3 at the end of lap 4. P4 he'll be because Irfan just got ahead of him. It's McLaren second, Lucky Hendriancha who's leading the way. Rafid Topan went from 1st to 7th.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything at this point in time, but one girl that's back up the front, number 44. It's Maklada Sarapuch who makes that move on the AP Thailand Honda racing machine up the inside. Great move by her, and as we said before, she was robbed of a certain win here last year. She would love to get it, and she's already pulled out a couple of bike lengths. Perhaps she's decided to pull the pin. She can certainly stretch this field.
Kind of lap time, she's going 2:27.924 is her best time. Split time there of 31.13, so she's racing quickly. Irfan Ardiansha around about the same, and it's Lucky Hendriancha who's right in the slipstream of McLaren Sarapech. Andy Mohamed Fadli, who was a leader for a little while, he's currently in P3. Also in there is Muzakir Mohammed for Malaysia. So Muzakir Mohammed has quietly got himself into that P5. Another look behind the shoulder from McLaren, and then yep, she's got about 10 bike lengths clear, but as you say, with nearly half the race to go, that means precious little at the moment.
Absolutely, that will all get snapped up down the long straight here, and that's Akiyoshi coming into the pit. Some sort of issue for Akiyoshi, not a weekend for him. This year has been cruel, bittersweet to him. He's had a win, but he's had so many DNFs, so Akiyoshi out of this one.
McLaren still leads the way as she comes into this turn 11. That will lead into the left-hander into turn 12. She is beginning to spread the field out a little bit. Andy Mohamed Fadli's got close, and good line going in, and you can use the undulations just to help you to whip out into the perfect line and length as McLaren goes a little bit wide, just a little bit off the racing circuit, but McLaren staying close to the grandstand. That seems to be the favoured place, and then you'll swing out as we go into the Kawasaki garage, and not too happy there for Akiyoshi.
You can just see there that there must have been something troubling him from the start of the race. You can just see them talking about it. Perhaps he burnt the clutch out off the line, but whatever, they're pulling that right-hand side of the fairing off, which is where the clutch is. It is possible that he just slipped the clutch a little bit too much and had a clutch slip, but we'll find out more about that later.
McLaren leads, Owen Sanjay, Andy Mohamed Fadli and Irfan Ardiansha within 1 second though, P1 to P6, within 1.5 seconds down to P9. Cal Vietnam in P10, only 2 seconds behind. So the Vietnamese having arguably his best race of the season. And Shafudin on the Musashi Boon Siu Honda, he's in P11. So an encouraging debut in the AP 250 class for Musashi Boon Siu Honda.
Yeah, great result so far by Cal Vietnam. As you say, he has been improving out of sight from the start of the year to, possibly by the end of the year, he can be a podium contender.
Ray Ratukore has dropped out of contention. He was in P3 at one stage. He's now in P13. Up at the front though, McLaren under real pressure from Arwin Sanjaya. 2.5 laps to go. Arwin Sanjaya, Andy Mohamed Fadli in the green livery of the Kawasaki. P4 behind Irfan Ardianche. In fact, he's just nipped in front of Irfan Ardianche, who has a look over his shoulder. I really don't get this looking over the shoulder, Steve, because it's not an occasional one. It's almost every other corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to know why they're doing it. They've got pit boards which tell the story. There's the team manager, of course, VIP Honda Thailand racing team, just looking on, keeping everything crossed that the rider can win this one.
McLaren it is, who is still leading the way. She's been there, well, she was on pole. She got a good start. She wasn't first into the first corner, but she's been virtually leading now for 4 laps or so, and it takes a special kind of brain and a special kind of spirit to want to lead from the front, Steve Martin.
Well, you need to be precise at this track to be able to put it all together, and that's what she can do. You can just see her lines there. Andy Fadley was out a little bit wide there, tried a different line coming onto the back straight. McLaren looks over her shoulder to see, and whenever you do that coming out of a corner, you do sacrifice some slipstreaming speed, and it looks to me like Arwin Sanjaya is going to come up the inside and past it into that final turn now. So Arwin Sanjaya there making the move. Of course, they're all playing with each other at the moment to see if they can slipstream. You watch McLaren now. She'll see if she can slipstream Sanjaya by the start-finish line.
So there'll be 2 laps to go. It's Arwin Sanjaya leads.
Oh, Fowler.
Gosh.
It could be Mazukia Mohammed, I think, who's gone down there. Big one, too, for the X10X ride.
Big high side. Yeah, Muzukia, it is. Good call. Steve Martin completely. He was having an encouraging race there, Muzukia.
Yeah.
We've been complaining domestically in Malaysia that we haven't quite had the success we'd like in AP 250s. Muzukia was trying to prove us wrong there, but high-sided. Thankfully, he's walking away. Leading the way, though, is Muglada Sarapwet, who's had more than her fair share of accidents. She's taking Andy Mohamed Fadli, the championship leader, with her, but also Irfan and Arwin Sanjaya. These front 5 have been competing. Rafid Topan has rejoined this leading group once again, back 911.
Yeah, good to see Rafid Topan up there again, and good to see that he's turned his championship around. But Andy Fadli, if you think back to the start of the race, he was way off the pace, but he's worked his way up now into a podium position. So keep an eye on the championship leader, number 108, Andy Mohamed Fadli. He's definitely not going to give up on this one.
The leading 7 off clear. Astra Honda are wondering, okay, which one of their riders is going to take it? A 1, 2, 3 would be nice. McLaren, once again, she leads coming into this right-hander. There's no real contact behind her. Cal Vietnam has got himself up into P9. We are keeping an eye out on the Vietnamese, and also for India's, where is he? He's down. Long way down. Sentil, P18 for Sentil. Yujun Mei, P21 for Chinese Taipei. But for Thailand, striking another one for the women is Muglada Sarapwet. She's under real pressure, though. Andy Mohamed Fadli seems to go wide every time on this corner, Steve Martin.
Yeah, he does, but look at his line out. He's a lot tighter, can get on the gas a lot more, and that's one of the key corners on this circuit to get a good drive out of, because out of that corner, turn 14, you come into the final 15, you need to be able to dive up the inside on the brakes like Fadley's fainting to do this time around if you've got any chance of winning.
Once again, McLaren is having, Oh, that's a moment for Arwin Sanjay. Maglada will lead as we come into the final lap. Andy Mohamed Fadli, I think, you know what? He's worked out that that is his racing line for the final lap. Andy Mohamed Fadli, P2 at the moment. Maglada went over the line first. Arwin Sanjay, bike 198 in P3, right? Maglada has led for so long. Is she able to complete the job? No mistakes, that's what it's all about for Maglada Sarapwech.
So hard for her to lead out front at the moment. She's got to be so precise, so perfect, try and stretch the field apart. She knows that people are going to be diving up the inside, but you can't close the corners on this circuit. If you do that, Des, you'll lose your drive out. It's such a wide track that she needs to just carry as much corner speed as possible and try as hard as she can.
Arwin Sanjay puts on the pressure. Rapid Topan makes a move as well. He's got up into P6, Rapid Topan. But there's the real race. Arwin Sanjay versus Maglada Sarapwech. They come up the hill, right-hander, left-hander. Good movement on the bike from Maglada Sarapwech. Hunkers down low as she leads Arwin Sanjay. She's led, she's taken it. Rapid Topan has made into P3.
Yeah, keep an eye on Rapid Topan, two-time winner last time out, but Arwin Sanjay has just had the one win this year. Wouldn't he love to get another win?
We are into the final third of this final lap. Bike 44, Maglada Sarapwech. She has led for so long. Arwin Sanjay, they come up the hill. She's had so many opportunities to make sure she has the right line, to rehearse the practice. Arwin Sanjay putting immense pressure on the back of Maglada Sarapwech.
Looks like Arwin Sanjay is the only rider that can go with the number 44 AP Thailand Racing Machine out front. Those two guys have got a little bit of a gap now.
Arwin Sanjay putting the pressure on Maglada. What's the angle? She just raises her head a little bit as they slingshot into the first of the two long straights. Andy Mohamed Fadli takes the same line, but Andy Mohamed on the Kawasaki, P5 at the moment. Maglada stays really close to the grandstand, and now she pulls out. Arwin Sanjay, though, has got ahead of Maglada. Maglada and Arwin side by side. Behind them, Irfan Ardianta. Rapid Topan comes through. Rapid Topan on the inside. Maglada pushed out. There's a casualty. And coming through is going to be 16, Irfan Ardianta. Irfan takes it. Irfan takes it. Second will be Maglada from Rapid, from Arwin, from Andy Mohamed Fadli.
What a finish to that race. That was absolutely incredible. And there was nothing in it. Only a hundredth of a second covering all three. Oh boy, I want to see a photo finish of that.
Sensational from Irfan Ardianta. Who was it who went out on the final corner? I think it might have been 188 Piawat, who's just coming through now. But Irfan Ardianta takes the victory ahead of Maglada Sarapwech.
Yeah, boy, Maglada gave it everything she could, but what a brilliant race that was. So good for Irfan on the number 16 machine there. Ardin Sayer, what a brilliant race for him. And you can just see now as they tip in, number 911, Rapid Topan had the perfect line, ran a little bit wide. We had the faller there, but it was Irfan Ardin Sayer who got that brilliant drive out. Andy Fadli tried to get up the inside of Owen, but it was Maglada who just by a millimetre picked up that second spot, and Rapid Topan, boy, from